Hi, I'm Joey. I'm here with John Petrucci, and he's going to be doing a show tonight. And how do you prepare for a show like this? Like, what do you do nerves-wise?
Well, fortunately, we've been on tour since June.
Right.
And if this was maybe in the beginning of the tour or one of the first shows, it might be a little bit apprehensive or nervous. But we're just in a roll. We're kind of like the machine is well oiled and running, so it's like any other gig.
Yeah.
And I think as far as like anxiety or nerves, like the best cure for that is preparation.
Yeah.
And we're totally prepared, so there's nothing that I'm really worried about. And of course we have a great crew, and I know everything works, and that always works as well.
Where did the name Dream Theater come from?
The name Dream Theater came from our drummer, Mike Portnoy's father.
Right.
And he at the time lived up in Northern California, and there was a movie theater there. It's called the Dream Theater. And before we did our first record, we were called Majesty, and we couldn't use the name because somebody else had a copyright on the name. But we had our record done, we had the artwork done, it said Majesty, and we were all bummed out. And we were trying to think of names. We thought of the worst names possible. We didn't know what we were going to do. And Mike's dad one day, he was like, how about Dream Theater? And we just were like, yeah.
That's it.
It was
yeah.
immediate. We all fell in love with it. So.
Okay. And what about songwriting?
The songwriting process for Dream Theater hasn't really changed too much in the many years we've been together. Even starting back to when we were at Berkeley College as teenagers. We basically were together in a rehearsal room and just bouncing ideas off of each other.
Yeah.
Guitar riffs, drum beats, whatever. And we do the same thing now. The last album, Black Clouds and Silver Linings, we recorded in Manhattan. The whole band set up, and we just started kind of riffing off each other, improvising and drawing things from those improvisations, melodies, chord progressions, whatever. And then, and once we have like kind of a seed for a song, then we start to craft it. Then we're like, okay, we need, a bridge, we need an intro.
Get the skeleton.
Yeah, exactly. And everybody is thankfully just really talented. There's no shortage of ideas, and there's just this great chemistry when we start writing. It rolls out, pretty effortlessly.
Cool. I wonder what you go home and listen to, like when you just want to whack something on, like a record or a CD and get inspired. What do you put on?
Well, the interesting thing is, my house is a very musical house. Yeah. So I listen to my kids playing piano. It's basically, or my wife having band rehearsal, or my one daughter playing piano, my son playing guitar in another room. There's always music going on in my house. So, if anything, it's be quiet. Use headphones. Tell the kids.
Mine is some space.
Yeah. So there's no shortage of actually live music going on in my house. But as far as casually listening to music, it's very casual for me. I'm not a very active music listener. I don't go out and try to get the latest and greatest.
Yeah.
I listen to satellite radio a lot in the car, the gym, whatever. I'm kind of like a casual music listener. So.
If you were going to give like an up-and-coming guitarist one piece of advice on either being in the music business or being a guitarist, or what do you think that might be?
To me, I think that people might say you got to practice and things like that, but to me, the thing that any young musician needs to cultivate is creativity. Is writing your own music, because I always think about all of the great musicians, songwriters, guitar players, that people have recognized throughout the years, whether it's Jimmy Page or whether it's, Hendrix or somebody more contemporary. It's the music of those players that is why they stand out. It's not only because we love the guitar playing, but the thing that sets them apart is their songwriting.
who actually created and left something
Yeah,
behind.
because there are a lot of really great players that just kind of, you know, if you're in your bedroom or your basement, there's nothing that's going to bring you out, set you apart, and you know, make you stand out and have your own voice, unless you are creative and you write music. And whether that means getting together with other guys and writing, or just, you know, recording things yourself, I think it's really, really important.
You were using TC gear even before we even knew you were using TC gear. You could have used anything. Like, why TC? What was it that drew you?
Well, I'll never forget my first experience with TC gear, which is a long time ago. I was actually teaching guitar in a music store, and somebody was like, "You gotta try this thing." It was a 2290, and I hooked it up like between two little practice amps or something, and it was just like this greatest sound. You know, it was. I never heard anything like that before. It was so clear, and you know, to me, it just like kind of hit me like I have to use this. And now, and ever since I started, you know, playing professionally and building racks, you know, with amplifiers and outboard effects, we always would put it, you know, a 2290 in every rack unit, and even in the studio, I always make sure there was one there to do different effects and chorusing and delays and stuff. And I just kind of fell in love with that piece. And through the years, it's developed. You know, now I'm using the M3000s and the compressor and stuff like that. But yeah, it started a really long time ago.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to thank you for taking the time to do this, and we're totally thrilled that you're using our gear, and thanks in general as a musician, just being, you know, such an inspiration for so many.
Thank you. No problem.
Thank you. John Petrucci.